not to scare anybody, I didn't get rid of the 690, but I do have a Stark Varg on the way. Now, I'm excited because it's electric and it's new, and I'm sure you've seen all the hype that's been going on around it. And I want to break down a few things, go through some of the technical specs that I know because I'm not well versed in the electric series just yet, and then get into some of the reasons why I'm choosing to go the electric route instead of buying a 300 TPI from KTM like I kind of want to in the meantime, and sort of why I'm getting back in the dirt. So I guess let's start with some of the specs. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so when it comes to power, obviously I don't have much, but I went with the 80 horse alpha version. Now you've got two options. You got the 60 horse and the 80 horse alpha. Why I went with the 80 is I thought battery efficiency is best in the middle, not at peak. But after watching everybody who's put out the videos of them actually riding it, they didn't even use anywhere close to full 60 horse on it. So I guess I gotta keep training to get to 80. We'll see. When it comes to suspension, we've got a KYB shock in the rear and KYB forks up front. Now I set it up for my weight, 198 to about 220. So I'd be interested to see what it looks like when it comes from the factory. Yeah, what do you think? Huh? You think it'll be fun? Another big question is weight. They claim 242 pounds, which is right around the same weight as a competition 450. I'm interested to see if that number stays true to 242. So charge time, they state it'll take between 1 to 2 hours with the 220 watt outlet. And how are you gonna do that if you're at the track? And at home, you've only got 120 outlets. So my guess is that it'll probably be longer if you plug it into a normal outlet, unless you purchase a 220 watt generator. Regardless, 1 to 2 hours to charge and a claimed 6 hours of ride time. I don't know anybody who rides 6 hours straight. I know I don't, that's for sure. So even still, 6 hours of ride time, I mean, that's a full day. You're probably only gonna ride 2.5, 3 hours of that. I mean, it's not like you're going on a far adventure with the bike, or maybe I should. Huh. And when it comes to the color, I went for snow white. You had gray and you had red. Not doing red. I feel like everybody else is gonna do gray. I wanted the white bike because I think it looks amazing. I mean, check it out. Now when it comes to wheel size, I went with the 19-inch. So that's more of a track MX sort of setup. 18-inch would be more for your adventure. Now I can always get an 18-inch wheel down the road, but I figured with battery limited to 6 hours, charging specific and having the luggage charger around, I'm probably not gonna do much long distance stuff, but who knows? So I guess 19-inch for the win. Which leads me into brakes. I mean, you've got the option, obviously, for a rear brake to be at your foot or to be where the clutch should be, used to be. I went with the foot brake because I figured I'm used to a foot brake, I'm not used to a handbrake, and I can always split it and make a handbrake on the bars. So we'll see when I try to grab for a clutch that isn't there. Which brings us all the way back to, I think, the main question: cost. How much is this bike going to cost? Well, as of right now in 2022, they're charging $12,900 for the 60 horse version, and then if you want to upgrade to the 80 horse Alpha, you're going to be paying $13,900. That's $14,000. That's the same price as my 690 after taxes and dealer fees and whatnot. That's insane to me for a dirt bike. Now, fun fact, I ordered mine in December of 21, 3 days after they opened the pre-orders with a $100 deposit. And for that Alpha 80 horsepower version, I'm only paying $12,900. So those of you who've ordered the 60 horse last year or before, I think it was May, June of 22, you're only paying $11,900 for the 60 horse version, which they've increased their price, I think, because of demand, and it's incredible to see the dealer network just explode across the world, and especially the United States, which was a concerning factor when I first ordered it. There was 2 dealers, one in Florida and then like 3 in Spain where they're headquartered. So what are you gonna do if it breaks? What's gonna happen then? I have no idea what's gonna happen. But let's get into a few of the reasons why I chose to go the electric route instead of keeping up with the traditional 2-stroke gas route. So some of you know, some of you may not know, I used to have a 2019 KTM 250 SX. Now, I bought that bike brand new off the dealer lot because it was the only bike that was sold essentially in 2018 when I bought it that was still carbureted. Now, if you've seen my previous videos and how mechanically sound I am, you'll know that a carburetor is much easier to work on than, let's say, fuel injection. Now, when it comes to fuel injection, just like when I had issues starting my 690 earlier this year, I was lost. Fuel injectors, mapping, tuning, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea what I'm doing. At least my dumbass can get around a carburetor with a few screw turns, maybe even removing it and cleaning it and getting a bike to somewhat run with some starting fluid, kicking, pushing, so on and so forth. So when it came to the electric series, I mean, I have no idea where to start. I mean, there's no simple fixes. There's no carburetor. There's, no simple engine mechanics to it. There's no piston. It's just a freaking battery and an electric motor. So what happens if those break? I don't know. But one of the key benefits is I don't have a ton of time in my life. I don't have time to change oils, to lube chains, to check tire pressures, to make sure my brakes are bedded in, do all these other maintenance features that I need to do on an everyday basis to keep bikes up and running. I sacrifice enough time for my 690 to maintain that it's safe on the street as well as performing to the best of its abilities, just again for my safety and enjoyment. But I don't need 2 bikes to do that. My daughter's 19 months old now. I mean, first and foremost, family comes first in my realm. So I don't want to take up too much time away from that just to appease, pretty much my hobby, my passion, what I want to do. So removing oil changes, removing any top end rebuilds, removing a lot of the other major factors that make a motorcycle maintenance heavy, and leaving it to basically, lube the chain, check the air pressure, make sure your brakes are good, you have brake fluid that's, properly circulating and not have any bubbles in it, and then just to go out and ride. I mean, hell, that's a dream, truthfully. I mean, even the way that they set up the rear blocks to adjust your chain, how it's simply one screw that you can turn and it's by clicks. It's not by these little freaking, what do you want to call them? I don't know, notches that just suck, that never seem to work right, but have been just a tried and true measure that we've used for eons. Regardless, it's going to be easier and it's going to make me want to ride more because it's just going to be flat out fun. I'm not a professional. I'm not looking to set lap times, but I'm looking to get back into the sport of motocross to hopefully, get me a little more athletic. So needless to say, the bike should be arriving sometime in February 2023. So you do the math, ordered December of 21, we've been through most of 2022, we still gotta get into 23, and February, hopefully, fingers crossed, I get a crate with an electric motorcycle that arrives here. Will I be able to ride it? I'll have to stud the tires and get on some ice or fight through the snow, but regardless, it's going to take probably well over a year and a half, 2 years to get here. They've been struggling with fulfilling orders as far as their assembly lines go. They're expanding their plants. There's so much other stuff going on with this company. And truthfully, I'm really excited to see where it's going. I mean, it's in the name, Stark Future. So what does the future hold? Thank you for watching the video today. If you've got any other questions around the Stark Varg, if you've already ordered yours, let me know in the comments below. I really can't wait for this bike to get here and to get out and ride and to see what the electric world is really like. I never rode an Alta or any other electric bike, so this is going to be new to me. So stay tuned for some of those videos, and in the meantime, keep riding.